Imagine a college dorm room cluttered with computer parts and reeking of ambition. This isn't some forgotten tech geek's lair. It's where a revolution began.
Dell launched in 1984. Since it has evolved from a PC maker to a $90 billion in revenue and services in storage, servers, and data security.
Now meet Michael Dell. He's the young rebel who snubbed the rules, built custom computers for his classmates, and took on industry giants like IBM. He did it all with a cocky grin and a simple idea. Customers deserve better. Get ready for a tale of dorm room hustle, billion-dollar gambles, and the relentless drive to change how the world buys technology. Here is the story of Dell. Introduction: The Dorm Room Visionary. In 1984, Room 2713 of the Dobby Center at the University of Texas at Austin became the birthplace of a technological revolution. This is where Michael Dell brought his vision to life. Michael wasn't an ordinary teenager. His fascination with technology bloomed early in life. Other kids dismantled toys out of fun, but Michael sought to understand how they worked. His curiosity was matched by a relentless entrepreneurial urge, and at just 12 years old, he learned to target potential buyers. By the time he reached high school, he was selling newspaper subscriptions. He earned an astonishing $18,000 in a single year. However, it was the personal computer that truly put wind in his sails. The rise of the PC started in the early 80s. At that point, giants like IBM dominated the market. However, these machines were expensive and often sold through a convoluted network of retailers and middlemen. Michael Dell saw an opportunity. What if he could cut out the intermediaries and build computers customized to the buyer's needs? And what if he could sell those machines to them directly? This simple yet profound insight was destined to transform the PC landscape. Michael knew customers were frustrated by pre-built machines that didn't quite fit their requirements. To add to their frustration, retailers offered little flexibility. It was a classic case of market inefficiency. Michael Dell had the youthful audacity to exploit it to the fullest, so he registered his company as PCs Limited and boldly set off to work inside his college dorm room. Word of his custom-built computers and competitive prices began to spread like wildfire across the campus. Dorm room orders turned into a steady flow of business. Young Michael Dell had unknowingly triggered a chain reaction that would have a far-reaching impact on the world of technology and the way people thought about buying computers. Michael Dell had only $1,000 in his pocket when he turned his dorm room into a makeshift assembly line. Traditionally, computer purchases typically involved a one-size-fits-all approach, but Dell knew customers didn't simply want a computer. They wanted their computer. And that's what he would offer them: the power of choice. Need more memory for intensive software? A faster processor for video editing. Dell's model meant that every machine could be tailored to specific requirements. It eliminated bloatware and the frustrations of pre-built off-the-shelf machines. Customers would call, discuss their needs, and receive a customized quote and a machine built to order. Initially, Michael's determination to buck the trend was met with widespread skepticism. Industry experts scoffed at the notion that a college student with no formal training could compete with the likes of IBM and Compaq. Yet, Dell was undeterred. But like any other entrepreneur, Michael faced early hurdles. Working capital was a constant challenge. As orders came in, he needed cash up front to buy the parts he needed for the assembly. His solution was as audacious as his business model. He asked customers to pay in advance. Then he used those funds to build the next computer. It was a risky model built on trust and Dell's own unshakable belief in his ability to deliver. Michael became a master of multitasking. He attended classes by day and ran his growing company by night. There were late-night troubleshooting sessions, early morning deliveries, and countless hours answering phone calls and refining his sales pitch. Sleep became a luxury, but giving up was never an option. The potential reward was motivation enough. Word of mouth became his most powerful marketing tool. Satisfied customers spread the news about a college kid who built great computers and offered personalized service. This was previously unheard of in the faceless computer market. Orders began flowing in, and they didn't only come from campus. Michael took orders from the wider Austin community. PCs Limited was proving the skeptics wrong, one custom-built machine at a time. Soon, Michael Dell would face a pivotal decision: pursue his college degree or make this computer venture his life's work. One legendary event helped Michael make this decision. A sudden surge of orders and a looming deadline left his team short of one crucial component: the metal casings for the PCs. Sure, they could source these conventionally, but that would take days. This was time they didn't have. As a solution, Michael turned his bathroom into a makeshift production line. The team thoroughly scrubbed the metal bathtub. Then they took turns pounding and shaping sheet metal into crude but functional computer cases. It was a chaotic and strangely ingenious time, but those bathtub-forged computers went out to customers on time. The numbers spoke for themselves. Within the first year, PCs Limited had raked in an impressive $6 million in sales. What began as a dorm room experiment had quickly ballooned into a force the industry couldn't ignore. Michael Dell, the precocious college entrepreneur, proved that sometimes the best innovations stem from a willingness to break every rule in the book. PCs Limited blossomed into the Dell Computer Corporation. At the same time, its core philosophy solidified into what would become known as the Dell difference: customer centricity. Michael placed the customer at the absolute heart of the business. In an era where most computer companies thought in terms of product specs, Michael thought about solutions. His team didn't just sell PCs, they provided tools to enhance productivity, creativity, and connectivity. Building a relationship with the customer was paramount. The team understood their customers' unique needs and responded quickly to queries. All the while, they ensured that after-sales support went above and beyond. It was a radical reframing of the computer company's role, and it led to fierce brand loyalty. Lean manufacturing. Michael Dell was inspired by the efficiency of Japanese automakers. He revolutionized inventory management based on their principles. Instead of stockpiling pre-built computers in warehouses, he embraced a just-in-time model. Components arrived only when needed. They were assembled rapidly into customized machines and immediately shipped out to customers. This eliminated the cost of maintaining vast inventories. It also reduced waste and allowed Michael and his team to respond almost instantly to changes in technology. A lighter, more agile operation meant better prices and fresher tech for the customer. No middlemen. Dell's direct-to-consumer model wasn't just a clever sales tactic, it was a core belief. By eliminating the retailers, distributors, and other middlemen, Dell maintained complete control over their customers' experience. Personalized service and greater transparency in pricing were paramount. Critically, it allowed Dell to capture the profit that would normally line the pockets of intermediaries. This approach allowed Dell to outstrip the growing demand for PCs. Competitors floundered. Most were weighed down by outdated models and inefficient supply chains. This is where Dell swooped in and gobbled up market share at a breathtaking pace. Revenue climbed steadily and the company's value soared. International markets beckoned. In response, Dell expanded even more aggressively. By the end of the decade, he had risen from quirky challenger to industry heavyweight. Chapter 3: Conquering the World. In June of 1988, Dell's stock debuted on the NASDAQ exchange. It was priced at a modest $8.50 a share. The response was overwhelming. Demand far outstripped the initial offering and caused the share price to soar. By the end of the day, the stock had nearly doubled. It was a stunning debut, and it solidified Dell's status as a Wall Street darling. More than that, it generated an infusion of capital that would accelerate its growth. The IPO was a watershed moment for both Dell Computer Corporation and Michael Dell personally. Dell Computer was flush with fresh capital to supercharge its operations, invest in R&D, and expand its manufacturing capacity. It had enough left over to finance its aggressive global expansion. The IPO also transformed Michael Dell into one of the youngest CEOs of a Fortune 500 company overnight. But success brought its own complexities. Publicly traded companies face intense scrutiny, endless analyst reports, and the pressure of quarterly earnings targets. Dell's youthful, freewheeling leadership style was the cornerstone of the early years, but now it needed to evolve. He had to balance the dynamism and innovation that fueled his company's rise with the discipline and consistency that shareholders demanded. Michael Dell had ambitions to make Dell computers ubiquitous worldwide, but the path to that level of dominance was littered with challenges, and they were unique to each market. However, many other countries lacked the necessary infrastructure. Dell swiftly set up local call centers staffed with multilingual representatives who understood the nuances of selling directly and building trust in regions unaccustomed to retail shopping. Japan was a major bridge to cross. In the early days, Dell faced a frustrating problem. Returns were far higher than expected, even if the usual defective units were accounted for. Dell was perplexed to discover that many of the returned computers were in perfect working order. The issue wasn't faulty hardware, but a fundamental cultural misunderstanding. Japanese consumers were accustomed to meticulous product packaging and presentation. They were returning Dell computers because the utilitarian brown cardboard boxes seemed cheap. The fact that the computer inside was top-notch didn't seem to matter. This respect for the unboxing experience ran deep. It was a cultural expectation that Dell was entirely unaware of. Rather than view this as a setback, Michael Dell saw it as a valuable lesson. He instructed his team to immediately redesign their packaging for the Japanese market. Dull boxes were out, and sleek, colorful designs that highlighted the quality of the machine were in. Information pamphlets were translated with cultural sensitivity. Dell ensured that every aspect of the unboxing process conveyed value and respect for the customer. The results were astonishing. Not only did product returns plummet, but Dell's reputation for attention to detail soared. What initially seemed like an error turned into a powerful way to demonstrate the company's adaptability. Customers recognized that Dell wasn't just imposing its US-centric approach, but genuinely listened and tailored its offerings to suit cultural preferences. By the turn of the millennium, Dell was a behemoth, but storm clouds were gathering. The early 2000s saw the dot-com bubble burst. In addition, a global recession loomed, and the meteoric rise of the PC market began to slow. Dell wasn't immune to these forces, and cracks began to appear in its once unassailable position. The relentless focus on efficiency began to breed complacency. Rivals like HP and Apple invested heavily in design and innovation, and Dell risked being perceived as predictable. Customers were no longer satisfied with merely functional computers. Dell's stock price began to steadily decline. Then the company started missing earnings targets. The golden era of easy wins was over. Michael Dell knew that resting on past laurels was a recipe for disaster. He realized that Dell's survival and return to dominance hinged on rediscovering its innovative spirit. The company had to redefine what it meant to be a leader in the 21st century. Under Michael Dell's leadership, Dell embarked on a strategic overhaul. He recognized the limitations of the PC-centric model and steered his company towards diversification. This was not a random expansion, but a carefully targeted acquisition plan. He was going to build a comprehensive portfolio of offerings aimed at meeting the evolving needs of business customers. Dell shifted its focus away from the cutthroat consumer market at the same time it leaned heavily into the lucrative enterprise sector. Businesses weren't just buying computers, they needed scalable IT solutions. Dell could now offer secure data management and expert support. Armed with its acquisitions and a renewed focus on quality and innovation, Dell positioned itself as the answer. In 2013, Michael Dell shocked the business world when he announced a plan to take Dell private again. He partnered with Silver Lake Partners, an investment firm, in a massive $25 billion buyout, removing Dell from the public stock market. It was a controversial move and was met with mixed reactions. Some analysts decried it. They saw it as a retreat, while others viewed it as a strategic masterstroke. Michael Dell's argument was sound. As a private company, Dell could make the bold, long-term strategic investments essential to its transformation. They could also do so without the relentless pressure of quarterly earnings and the short-term focus of the stock market. It was a bet on restructuring and reshaping the company away from the prying eyes of Wall Street. Today, the legacy of Michael Dell's dorm room bet lives on. Dell Technologies is a true technology powerhouse. It's a company that has repeatedly reinvented itself, rising from every challenge with a resilience that defines its core. As a privately held company, Dell is free to play the long game. The results speak for themselves. In its fiscal year of 2023, Dell Technologies generated just over $100 billion in revenue. This cemented its place as one of the largest technology providers in the world. Dell Technologies' influence extends globally. It has a massive workforce of over 130,000 employees spread across 180 countries. This network of talent, manufacturing hubs, and R&D centers gives Dell an enviable scale. It allows them to address diverse customer needs across a wide range of industries and markets. Beyond the raw numbers, Dell Technologies continues to be a driving force in shaping where technology is headed. They invest heavily in research and development. As always, the company prioritizes cutting-edge solutions in areas like cloud computing, advanced storage systems, and cybersecurity. Dell's story is the quintessential entrepreneurial journey, a story about the power of vision, audacity, and an unwavering belief in challenging the status quo. From that cluttered dorm room, Michael Dell ignited a revolution. He didn't just redefine how to build and sell computers, but transformed how people thought about them. He democratized access to powerful technology. And more than anything else, he placed the customer at the center of a global enterprise. From its inception to 2024, Dell has left a profound mark on the tech industry. The company has proved the viability of direct sales, forcing competitors to streamline. It cut out inefficiencies and focused on delivering better value. Dell's lean manufacturing model became a benchmark. Its emphasis on just-in-time inventory influenced industries far beyond the tech space. Of course, Dell's journey is far from over. Michael Dell, the dorm room visionary, likely won't be satisfied with merely being an industry giant. Whether it's pursuing breakthrough technologies or further expanding into the enterprise space, we can be sure that Dell Technologies will keep pushing boundaries.